day, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Quick Math Tutorials. Today, we are going to learn about sequence. Sequence is an enumerated collection of objects in which repetitions are allowed and order does matter. Note that sequence can be finite or infinite. Let's have our first example for finite sequence. This is an example of finite sequence. This is a collection of numbers and are arranged in order. The pattern is just by adding 1. We have 1 plus 1 equals 2, 2 plus 1 equals 3, 3 plus 1 equals 4, and 4 plus 1 is 5. So it has an order. Now, this is a finite. It's because it ends in 5. The term 1, this is what we call the first term, or in symbol we have a sub 1. Then 2, this is our second term, or in symbol we have a sub 2. And 3 is our third term, or in symbol we have a sub 3. And 4 is our fourth term, in symbol we have a sub 4. And lastly, we have 5. In symbol, we have a sub 5. This is our fifth term. So this finite sequence, it has 5 terms. For our second example, we have an infinite sequence. We have 3, 6, 9, and we have here the 3 dots. These 3 dots is what we called an ellipsis, meaning it reads as and so on or to be continued. So we have 3, 6, 9, and so on. Here, our first term is 3, or in symbol we have a sub 1. Our second term is 6. Or in symbol, we have a sub 2. And our third term is 9, or in symbol, we have a sub 3. And so on. And we have the nth term. Or in symbol, we have a sub n. Now, let's have our third example. We have 4, 7, 10, 13, and so on. So this is an infinite sequence. Its nth term is a sub n is equal to 3n plus 1. So what do you mean by the nth term? This nth term is used to find a specific term. For example, if we will extend this sequence and we want to find the a sub 21 or the 21st term, so we can use this nth term to solve for the a sub 21. Now, let's try to check if this is really the nth term of this sequence. So by checking, we will use our nth term. So if n is equal to 1, so our nth term is a sub n is equal to 3n plus 1. So we will solve first for our first term, or in symbol we have a sub 1. Since we have a sub 1, our n is 1. So we will substitute n by 1. So we have 3 times 1 plus 1. 3 times 1 is 3, and 3 plus 1 is equal to 4. And as you can see in our given sequence, the first term is really 4. So this is correct for the first term. This nth term is correct for the first term. Now let's try to solve for our second term. So if n is equal to 2, so our second term, or in symbol we have a sub 2, our n here is 2. So we will substitute n by 2. So we have 3 times 2 plus 1. 3 times 2 is equal to 6 plus 1 is equal to 7. And as you can see in our sequence, the second term is 7. So this is correct. Therefore, this nth term is correct for the first and second term. Now let's try for our third term. So we will have n be equal to 3. So our third term, or in symbol, we have a sub 3. So our n here is equal to 3. Now we will substitute the value of n. We have 3 times 3 plus 1. 3 times 3 equals 9, and 9 plus 1 is equal to 10. And this is correct because as you can see in the sequence, the third term is really 10. Now, for our last term, we have the fourth term. So we have a sub 4. So our n here is 4. We will substitute the n by 4. So we have 3 times 4 plus 1. And 3 times 4 equals 12 plus 1 equals 13. And this is correct. It's because, as you can see in the sequence, the fourth term is really 13. So this is correct. Therefore, the nth term of the infinite sequence for 7, 10, 13, and so on is a sub n is equal to 3n plus 1. Nth term is very important in sequence. It's because it helps you in finding the specific term without extending the pattern or the sequence. For example, we have this sequence for 7, 10, and 13. And you would like to find the 99th term. So without extending this sequence, you can use its nth term by substituting the value of n by 99 so that you can get the 99th term. Now, let's have our example number 4. We will find the first 5 terms of the sequence given the nth term. A sub n is equal to 4 minus 5 times n. So here in example number 4, we are only given the nth term. So we will find the 5 terms of this sequence. So for our solution, let's first solve for our first term. So for our first term, we have a sub 1. So our n here will be equal to 1. So we will substitute n by 1. We have a sub 1 is equal to 4 minus 5 times 1. We have to copy 4 minus 5 times 1 is 5. And 4 minus 5 is equal to negative 1. This is negative since the biggest number is 5 and the sign is negative, so we will just copy the sign. So therefore, our first term is negative 1. For our second term, or a sub 2, we will substitute n by 2. We have a sub 2 is equal to 4 minus 5 times 2. So we have copy 4 minus 5 times 2 is 10. And 4 minus 10 is equal to negative 6. Thus, our second term is negative 6. Now, for our third term, or a sub 3, we will substitute n by 3. So we have a sub 3 is equal to 4 minus 5 times 3. So we have to copy 4 minus 5 times 3 is equal to 15. And 4 minus 15 is equal to negative 11. Thus, our third term is negative 11. Now, for our fourth term, we will substitute n by 4. So we have a sub 4 is equal to 4 minus 5 times 4. Now we have 4 minus 5 times 4 is equal to 20, and 4 minus 20 is equal to negative 16. Thus, our fourth term is negative 16. Now for our fifth term or a sub 5, we will substitute n by 5. We have a sub 5 is equal to 4 minus 5 times 5. So copy 4 minus 5 times 5 equals 25. And 4 minus 25 is equal to negative 21. Therefore, the first 5 terms of a sub n is equal to 4 minus 5 and r. We have negative 1 as our first term, negative 6 as our second term, negative 11 as our third term, negative 16 as our fourth term, and negative 21 as our fifth term. Let's have more examples. Number 1. We have the sequence 2, 6, 18, 54, and blank. So we will try to find the next term. So how will we know what will be the next term? We will try to see what is the pattern in this sequence. So first, we will try to subtract the second to the first, the third to the second, and the fourth to the third. So we have 6 minus 2 is equal to 4. 18 minus 6 is equal to 12. As you can see, they are not the same. So therefore, the pattern is not by subtracting. Now let's try to divide. We will divide the second to first, the third to second, and the fourth to third. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. 18 divided by 6 is 3. 54 divided by 18 is 3. Therefore, the pattern is, if you will reverse it from left to right, we will multiply by 3. So we have 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 3 is 18. And 18 times 3 is 54. Now, for our next term, we will just multiply by 3. So 54 times 3 is equal to 162. So this is our final answer. Number 2, we have 20, 18, 16, 14, and blank. So we will find again the next term. So again, first we will try to subtract the second to first, third to second, and fourth to third. So we have 18 minus 20. The answer is negative 2. This is negative since 20 here is the biggest number and it is negative, so we will just copy the sign. Next, 16 minus 18. So same case with the first. So the answer is negative 2. And 14 minus 16 is negative 2. So therefore, the pattern is just by subtracting negative 2. So 20 minus 2 is 18. 18 minus 2 is 16. 16 minus 2 is 14. Therefore, to get the next term, we will just subtract 14 by 2. So we have 14 minus 2 is 12. And this is our final answer. For our number 3, we will find the three terms of, so given the nth term, we have a sub n is equal to n minus 2. So for our first term or a sub 1, we will substitute n by 1. We have a sub 1 is equal to 1 minus 2. And 1 minus 2 is equal to negative 1. For our second term or a sub 2, we will substitute n by 2. So we have a sub 2 is equal to 2 minus 2. And 2 minus 2 is 0. And for our third term is, we will substitute n by 3. We have a sub 3 is equal to 3 minus 2. And 3 minus 2 is equal to 1. Therefore, the first three terms of a sub n is equal to n minus 2 are negative 1, 0, and 1. So to sum it up, sequence is an enumerated collection of objects in which repetitions are allowed and order does matter. So it really follows an order. Note that a sequence can be finite or infinite. And that ends our quick math tutorials. If you like the video, please click on the like button. If you have questions, just leave a comment below. And to be notified on my next video, please click on the subscribe button. Thank you! Bye!
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.